Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, the Hunter. Welcome back to the Baseball Hut 2, and hopefully you like this video, and hit that subscribe button. We're back here. This is sort of a simulcasted video where I'm doing this live on the Baseball Hut, and then we're on the Baseball Hut 2. So you need to subscribe to both if you haven't already. I'm going to go through the list of free agents and go through a list of the trade candidates for 2025-26. And we'll interact with the chat. If you have any questions, I will stop. But let's start at the top of the list. We have Kyle Tucker. Well, where's he going to go? Well, funny, I should ask myself that. We got the Cubs, the Yankees, Mets, maybe, Seattle, the Dodgers. I've heard the Dodgers heavily. Isn't that great? And the Giants. Pete Alonso. I've heard the Mets, San Francisco. I'll cross Toronto off on this. Philadelphia and Boston. And I did things like really old school, very old school. Blue pen for the player, red pen, the ruined destination, and a black pen, which I don't have a black pen. My black pen ran out of ink. I got to get another one. But those are 4 teams with Pete. Edwin Diaz. I heard the Mets, obviously. That's the favorite. Baltimore. I'll believe that when I say it. Baltimore is, I don't know why they didn't want to sign anybody. And the Yankees. We'll see about the Yankees. I don't think they're going to do that. Dylan Cease. This is all Mets sort of heavy, Mets heavy video for you if you don't know. Dylan Cease, the Mets, the Angels, and Baltimore. Zach Gallen. You got the Mets, Houston, Arizona. Framber Valdez. The Mets, the Yankees, Seattle, the Dodgers, Houston, Toronto, and St. Louis. For St. Louis, prominently. Bo Bichette, who had a good series but couldn't run. I've heard the Mets, believe it or not, the Dodgers, Toronto, the Braves, I'll believe that when I see it, and the Tigers. Cody Bellinger. We got the Mets, the Tigers, and the Yankees. Ranger Suarez. Now, I would mention about Bellinger. He's an interesting case because I can see the Mets signing him because he's a good defensive player. You can play him at first, play him in the outfield. I would sign him in, Pete. Ranger Suarez. Toronto, San Francisco, and the Phillies. I'll put the Mets here just for the hell of it. Kyle Schwarber. Now, Kyle Schwarber is, 34 years old? 33 years old, be careful. Be careful. Just due to his age, how many years you want to give him. And he is a Scott Boras player. But we have the Mets, the Phillies. I think there's a strong possibility he'll go back. The Yankees should go after him. With that porch. The Cubs going back there. The Tigers, the Rangers. And believe it or not, Cincinnati. I'll believe that when I see it. Hunter Green's probably going to be on this board. Let me write his name down before I move further along. But now, of course, please subscribe to Baseball Hut 2 and like this video. So I'll write down Hunter Green's name. So I'm in here, his name and rumors as well. The guy's finally pitching for them on a regular basis, and then let's talk about him getting moved. The big Japanese player coming out of Japan is Munetaka Murakami. He played for the Yomiuri Giants, and this will be the first time the Giants have posted a player from their franchise. They don't normally do that. But I've heard the Mets, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Phillies, and the Mariners. I don't know where he's going. Now, some names I put here because I was pissed off at the end of the season. I put a whole bunch of Met names here. Francisco Lindor, Jeff McNeil, Brandon Nimmo, David Peterson. Those are guys that the Mets should shop and find out what their value is. Just to find out. You don't have to move them. Just find out what you can get for them. Sandy Alcantara. The Mets, the Yankees, the Dodgers, Seattle, the Cubs. I can see them moving him. I can also see them holding on to him another year. Joe Ryan. I've heard the Mets. I haven't really heard anybody else other than that. Logan Gilbert. He would be a trade. I've heard the Mets. Merrill Kelly, I believe, is a free agent. The Mets, Arizona, San Diego, and Pittsburgh. Chris Bassett, didn't he pitch one of the World Series? He pitched really well in the World Series. They should have pitched him in the ninth inning instead of Jeff Hoffman. I knew as soon as they put in Jeff Hoffman in that ninth inning for the Blue Jays that they were in trouble. Because as a Met fan, the Mets were always beating Jeff Hoffman on a regular basis. But I've heard Milwaukee, Atlanta, and the Baltimore Orioles with him. Alex Bregman, who's back in the free agent market. I've heard with him, Boston going back there, the Mets, Seattle, Washington, Cincinnati, Philadelphia, Cubbies, Toronto, and Detroit. His market will be interesting because he'll get money. He had a good year, but though he was injured, he will get the money still. Mike Conforto actually won a World Series. Good for him. I don't have a market for him yet. Lucas Giolito, the Angels, Houston, Arizona. I felt bad for Don Mattingly not winning a World Series. I don't know if he's coming back to be on a bench somewhere. I don't know if he wants to manage still. I felt bad for Donnie that he didn't get his World Series on Saturday. Trent Grisham, the Mets will be connected to him, but the Mets should stay the hell as far away from him as possible. Just due to the fact that the guy's been a lousy bat for many years, and he had a career year and had a lousy postseason. Rhys Hoskins, Michael King, they're all talking about the Mets getting Michael King. That guy is always hurt. That guy is always hurt. Nick Martinez, I think he had qualifying offer last year. He doesn't have the attached on to him now. Emilio Pagan was the closer of the Reds. We'll see where he goes. I wouldn't be surprised if he went to the Phillies. Phillies, even though they have Durant. Jorge Polanco for the Angels, the Rockies, and Minnesota. JT Realmuto, where's he going to go? You talk about a missed opportunity for the New York Mets not to sign a player years ago. Said they signed James McCann. Mets could have signed Realmuto, and he was a better player than McCann. McCann was terrible here. But what teams I heard? Phillies, Texas, and Minnesota. I'll believe that when I see Texas. Robert Suarez. I'll put the Mets on here because the Mets might need a closer. You got Atlanta, you see him going there for lesser money. The Dodgers and Baltimore. Anthony says this. Anthony Desare. See what you have to say. Do you think Steve Cohen will overrule Stearns on a player either this offseason or at some point soon, whether it's on Alonso or going to get a big starting pitcher in free agency or trade? Well, you know that 2 years ago that he was the one behind signing Carlos Correa. He was talking to them. So he will overrule them if he thinks it'll help the Mets. So I mean, don't think that he won't do that. Now, as I'm doing this video, I'm also doing a live stream on the Baseball Head. So if you hear me, you don't see the words being spoken in the chat. That's what's going on here. Next up on my list is Eugenio Suarez. Where's he going to go? I can see him going to the Angels, going back to Seattle, and the Pirates. He had some big grand slam in that series against the Blue Jays, didn't he? I think it was against Blue Jays, right? Josh Naylor, Seattle, Washington, and Colorado. Luis Ariz, you stay the hell away from him. This guy's got no power. He's got no speed. He's a terrible defensive player, but you know what? He's Tony Gwynn. Anthony asked me, do you think Cohen overruled Stearns on Soto? No, because Stearns has a history of bringing in big players out of young. Having Yelich there, Yelich, when they made the trade for Yelich, he was 25, 26 years old, basically the same age as Soto. So I don't think so with that at all. Brandon Woodruff, Milwaukee. Trevor Story for the Dodgers. The hell knows where he's going. Clay Holmes, I heard the A's, but the Mets, he has so much value. Clay Holmes has so much value, folks, that the Mets could get a lot for him. They can keep him in the rotation. They could make him the closer. They could do so much with him. He has so much value. It's unbelievable. He might have the most value on this market if they decide to do something with him other than have him start. But even if they have him start, he had a very good year when he had not pitched as a starter in ages. Had a terrific year with the Mets. And he could start him. You could trade him. You could put him in the bullpen. And he has amazing amounts of value. Of all the players that the Mets have in terms of pitching, that's a guy that's got tremendous amount of value. Freddie Peralta. We've heard the Mets with him, but he's a number 2 starter, in my opinion. He's not a number 1 starter. He's a number 2, number 3 starter. So if you're a team, understand that he's not an ace, in my opinion. He's not Framber Valdez. He's not Skubal. He's not a lot of guys. Bryce Harper. I don't believe he'll be moved, but I put his name down. Shane Bieber. After what he did, he'll probably leave Toronto, giving up that home run to Will Smith. 6 years in a row. 6 years in a row, Will Smith has won a World Series. Devin Williams, with Bieber, I've heard Milwaukee, the Cubs, Texas. This guy's a Midwest guy. Devin Williams, Toronto, Atlanta, and Detroit. He's not going back to the Yankees, that's for sure. Jack Flaherty, I've heard Atlanta, the Mets, Baltimore. Gleyber Torres, St. Louis, Cleveland, and Minnesota. Ryan Helsley, believe it or not, he's got teams attached to him. The Cubs, the Giants, and the Rangers. Luke Weaver, for the A's, the Yankees, Arizona. Hunter Green, I don't have a name yet, I just put him down. Stanley4723 says, who projects to be the Mets' number 1 starting pitcher? Well, probably at this point, Nolan McLean, but the offseason 1 day old. Relax on that. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on between now and the winter meetings. And then the last name on my list, aside Hunter Green, is Kazuma Okamoto, who was a slugging first baseman in Japan. And he is a guy that will be interesting to see where he goes. I've heard the Cubs, the Mets, and the Yankees. But there is questions of whether he could hit high velocity. So that is something to keep an eye on. So now as I finish this video on the Baseball Hut 2, I want to thank you for watching. And of course, if you've been watching here on the Baseball Hut, thank you for indulging me while I record this. And let me know what you think about this video. Have a good day, and I'll see you later.